Virgo, welcome back. Today we're doing a reading for March 28th, until April the 3rd, 2021. This will be for your sun, moon, or rising signs in Virgo, should you be cross-watching. And as always, this is a general reading and it just might not resonate for you. That's absolutely okay. Take the things that are for you and leave everything else behind to get into your higher vibes. Thank you so much to those of you who have liked, who have shared content, and who have subscribed to the channel. It really does mean the world to me. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that, and that way you'll see all my videos as they come out. If today's reading resonates for you, do leave me a thumbs up and any comments or questions you might have down below. I love, love, love hearing from you. Okay, Virgo, overall energy, this reading is the Four of Pentacles. Ask yourself right now, what am I holding on too tightly to? What am I refusing to let go of? Where am I feeling a little bit stubborn right now? I think that's going to prove to be a little bit of a theme here. Maybe not stubbornness, but holding on really tightly to things. In the recent past for you here, looking like we're making some decisions for ourselves relating to our personal stability, relating to feeling like we're able to take care of ourselves in a really good way, and relating to being able to find personal empowerment for ourselves here, feeling confident in speaking our mind. Virgo, you are so good at internalizing and processing information. It is a strength that you carry as a whole, and particularly, you know, depending on where your Mercury falls in your chart too, like it's a great skill that you have, but sometimes getting it from in here to out here can be challenging. And I think right now we're working on finding the best ways to communicate our needs so that we can have the life that we want instead of living kind of inside of ourselves a lot of the times in a number of ways. So working a bit on personal empowerment right now, and really actively needing to make that choice to share with others, to reach out to others, to explain our needs. I get that you are feeling pretty good about yourself right now, pretty good about your position, but there is just a bit of a missing connection between yourself and the outside world. So we're finding ways to push ourselves forward into that space. Now, in the present energy here, it's really kind of nice. It's like doing a lot of self work, spending a lot of that time again alone on our own, doing all of the great thinking, doing the journaling, working on ourselves. There's definite energy here as we transition from the past into the present energy about work we are putting in for ourselves to make ourselves feel more secure and comfortable. And that inspiring some action here. We have this Cancerian chariot energy coming up for you in the present. And that is inspiring you to want to, you know, put yourself out there a little bit more. We have an Ace of Cups showing up for you here. This could be, you know, some feelings for somebody else that you want to express, that you want to take from inside and move them outside of your mouth and tell somebody, hey, you know, I really like you. I would be interested in getting to know you better, whatever that is. There's some inspired action here, but it is coming from really putting the work in with yourself to figure out, you know, what you need to do to feel the most comfortable, the most confident, and like psych yourself up into taking that next step to communicating this with whoever it is that you have your sights set on right now. Now, getting into the future energy, we may be setting ourselves up a little bit for some disappointment here, potentially. Okay, we have the King of Cups, the Three of Swords, and the Four of Cups coming up here. And this for me is like, I put my heart out to somebody, and now I'm just going to try to give them as much space as I can to make their own decisions about it, to really sit with my feelings, and then let them come back to me. And in that process of waiting for a response, depending on how you've communicated with this other person, we're starting to end up in these mindsets where we're cycling a little bit and kind of expecting the worst. With this Three of Swords and Four of Cups together at the end here too, it's possible that you may overblow some things here, Virgo. This person may not be receptive in exactly the way that you were hoping they would, and there could be a tendency here to rely solely on where you may be disappointed or let down by this person and not hearing them when they're saying other positive things. Maybe they're saying, you know, I'm not really sure about you if I'm interested in you romantically, but I would be open to spending some time with you to see if there's some compatibility. And you may just be hearing, I am not open to something romantic, and not, but I am open to spending some time together to see if that could happen. And as a result, you may kind of like go back into yourself a little bit here and become very fixated on the perceived negative that you're overlooking any positive that comes with it. So something to be mindful of. We'll do some clarifying here. Okay, we'll start with clarifying the Four of Pentacles and the overall energy. Yeah, I think for me, this is reiterating exactly what we just talked about here in the future energies. We have the Eight of Inspiration or the Eight of Wands, the Ace of Emotions or the Ace of Cups, and the Tower coming up for you here together. So when we're talking about clinging on to things, okay, this to me is feeling able to freely express ourselves and our emotions and feeling able to express our needs. I think you may surprise yourself here, this Tower coming up, when you begin to express your feelings to somebody. It may surprise you that you kind of like found it in yourself to be able to put them out there to somebody. You may be in the middle of the conversation and like surprised about it, but also maybe something is going to come up that really compels you, like, I need to say something now because of this. However, we're playing our cards, I think, really close to the chest. So we still need to be very mindful, Virgo, of being authentic in our communication, I guess, is the best way for me to word this here. If you only sort of put your feelings out there, then the person you're putting them out there to can only sort of understand what it is that you are trying to express to them. So you may be playing things too close to the chest. You may be keeping too much inside of you, which is going to make it difficult for somebody else to relate to you emotionally, particularly if they are somebody who is quite emotionally open. So again, think about the ways in which we cling on to things, the ways in which we hide information from others, keep things to ourselves, and why we're choosing to do that and to who we choose to do that with. Let's take a look in the recent past here. I'd like to look at this Two of Swords, get an idea about the decision we're working on. Six of Emotions, the Magician, and the Emperor. Doing some reflecting right now on a time when you were feeling really empowered, most likely, and trying to harness that energy. Definitely doing a little bit of living in the past here, but for the purposes of really trying to remember what it felt like when we were in the vibrational state that we want to be in right now. Maybe you've gone through something recently where your confidence has been shaken up, or maybe you've lost some confidence and now you're trying to think about a time when you were really confident and you felt very capable, and you want to be able to remember that feeling so that you can re-embody it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like it's a little bit of a different type of shadow work here, because I see you wanting to move into like a higher prosperity path, again, being able to feel more confident and capable in your communication with others, and to feel like you command a little bit more respect. So you're trying to think of back on times when you felt like you had all of that. We'll take a look at the Ace of Cups here in your present energies. Four of Voices, Page of Emotions, and the Three of Voices coming up again. Yeah, It's interesting because it's like what it's saying to me is like, I feel really comfortable and confident in how all of this is working out when I'm just thinking about it, when I'm like imagining the conversation that's going to be had and that's going to work out in my favor. And then we get to that point where you're like, okay, I'm going to have that conversation in real life. I'm going to write my little love letter. I'm going to send that little text message or whatever that looks like for you. And then we kind of get paralyzed by the fear of being let down, by the fear that it may not work out. And we carry that energy from the present down into the future here. Let's look at this Three of Swords down in the future energy. Okay. What we got? 2 or 3. Okay. The Sun, Death, and the Two of Materials. Now, with the Page of the Page of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Death card coming up, potentially have your eye on a Scorpio right now. Maybe. I think more so this is talking to me for you about this real want to stop sort of the negative mindset that you fall back into and wanting to be able to focus on the positive. However, having a challenging time with striking that balance. I would say that it is pretty easy for you to feel like you lean into the negatives when negative situations arise or when something comes up that isn't entirely in your favor. That cloud can just totally eclipse the sun for you. And as a result, you just become hyper fixated, you shut down a little bit, you remove yourself, whatever you feel you need to do for that sense of protection. And you're working on removing it, but I'm not sure that emotionally you've done all of the work yet that is going to be required to really push past that boundary. We see it happening in the present energy here. We see you putting the work in for yourself, but we haven't totally fallen out of those old habits and thought processes. So it's an ongoing thing, and like growth is growth. So we just need to be reminding ourselves of the things that we want to change until we start to actively see them changing because our mindset has changed. We'll take one last message here for you. Knight of Swords, the Lovers, and the Six of Swords. Sometimes, Virgo, we got to take action. We need to make the choice to take action, even if that action is just to move us towards a space where we feel more comfortable and feel more confident. And if you're in a place right now where you're not feeling comfortable about where you are, who you are, what you're doing, then there's going to have to be a little bit of bravery and get that momentum going. Just start to move in a different direction. And the more that you move, the safer you are going to feel and the more momentum you're going to build in a positive direction for yourself. I really hope this helps, Virgo. I believe in you. Like, confidence is something that we have to work on, forever and always incrementally. It's really interesting. The Leo reading that I just did was really focused on overconfidence, and your reading here is kind of in the opposite energy, a little bit underconfident. So believe in yourself. I believe in you. I hope this helped. If it did, please subscribe, and we'll see you next week.